Good evening. First off, thanks to everyone who took the time to share your experiences and advice. The idea behind this series was to open up a discussion about scope mounting and to come up with an easy and repeatable way to address as many variables as possible. One of the main issues that was brought up in the comments was the use of the scope turret for leveling. I thought this over and I think I may have come up with a simple way to address this. I hope you'll let me know what you think. Scope manufacturers calibrate the reticle off the flat surface beneath the scope tube, not the turrets. While the turrets can work in some cases, they aren't always true to the scope body, so why not use what the manufacturer does? To address this, I set the flat of the scope tube on a flat and level surface. With the body of the scope leveled, I then used a flashlight positioned at the objective end of the scope to project the reticle onto a wall where I had hung a plumb line. At this point, I can determine if the reticle is canted relative to the body of the scope. A canted reticle could be due to production tolerances or a failure within the scope. Either way, anything more than a couple degrees should be considered excessive, as covered in the previous videos. The next step is to rotate the scope body until the reticle is parallel with the plumb line. With the reticle plumb, I install a level on the scope body and center the bubble. This will allow me to use the level to keep my reticle plumb when shooting, rather than relying on my sometimes flawed perception. Once the level on the scope has been established, I finish the process by mounting it on a leveled action. Now, in my case, the maximum distance during airgun field target competition is around 55 yards. So the relationship between the scope and the action is going to be less critical. At longer ranges, however, this may become an issue. Someone in the comments proposed the use of a mirror to align the reticle with the barrel. I used this method to check a few scopes that I had leveled to the action previously, and in each case the reticle was aligned to the barrel. This leads me to believe that leveling will probably work more often than not. And yes, the robe is a necessary part of accurately mounting a scope. That said, the mirror is a good way to verify things if you want to take things a step further, or in cases where you're perhaps running into issues on paper. Anyhow, hope you find this interesting, and look forward to your comments. Thanks, and take care.